Hello, everybody. Hope all of you are keeping safe and doing great. My name is Sridevi Murugayan. I work as principal technologist based out of a firm in Chennai. As a cloud solution architect, I focus on providing big data solutions for customers across the globe. With the increase in mobile technologies and reduced storage cost, the amount of data every business collects and stores has increased tremendously. Based on one of the recent reports, the volume of data that is generated in the last 2 years is more than the data that has been generated so far in the human history. The data is definitely growing in multifolds. So, what are we going to do with this such huge data sets? How are we going to use the data effectively to help improve the business outcomes? Well, in this session, I'm going to talk about streaming analytics on AWS, where we'll be focusing on how to ingest, process, and store the streaming data and derive some meaningful insights. So, the agenda for the day today. So, we'll have an introduction to AWS streaming services, along with a very basic introduction to analytics and streaming as well, followed by a demo. Okay, so what is analytics? So we have so much of data. So we collect data from mobile devices, gaming devices, IoT devices, sensor data. So there is so much of data. So the analytics is the process where we collect data, we identify the patterns, interpret the data usage, and come up with some meaningful insights. So this is a process of discovery, interpretation, and identification of meaningful patterns in data. Analytics itself comes in four different forms. So you can do descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. So what is descriptive analytics? Descriptive analytics is analytics where we just try to understand what has happened. So you have data, so you just go see the data. So where are we with the sales numbers, and how are we progressing on the metrics? So this is more of just trying to understand what has happened so far. For example, if you have an annual target, sales target, and if you are in fourth month, fifth month, you just go and see, what is your sales number so far for the year, for the past 4 months. So that is the descriptive analytics. The next form of analytics is diagnostic. So diagnostic analytics, you just try and understand what happened and why did it happen. So here the focus always to understand the reasons for the number. So if you are in fourth month and if your sales number is actually lower than what you have expected, then you try to understand the reasons for that, and that is called diagnostic analytics. So descriptive and diagnostic, both of them come under reactive analytics. So they are based on the data that we already have. And the other two forms of analytics are predictive and prescriptive. So predictive analytics is where you try to forecast the numbers based on what has been happening in the last couple of months. So if we are already in fifth month, so we are just projecting the data for the next 7-8 months. Then that is predictive analytics. It's just predicting the numbers. And prescriptive analytics is more of a corrective action. So you're just trying to understand we are falling behind the target. So what are the options? The recommendation that has to be provided is called prescriptive analytics. So predictive and prescriptive comes as proactive analytics. So we use a lot of ML algorithms in this part. So predictive and prescriptive, we have to project data, predict the recommendations, predict the actions. So we use a lot of ML engines in the predictive and prescriptive analytics. The next, what is streaming? So analytics itself, right? It comes in two flavors. So you do batch analytics and streaming analytics. The focus of the session is going to be streaming analytics. So I'll just focus on streaming. So streaming data is the data that is generated continuously by millions and billions of data sources. So when you play a game, the data generated will be a streaming data, the IoT devices, the sensors, the clickstream logs, all of these are streaming data. So they are generally event or micro batch driven. So we don't have specific batches, and also it will be very small batch of data, or it could be event driven data. So the ability of a system to ingest, process, and analyze this streaming data is called streaming analytics. So streaming analytics can be done in different forms. So we can use Kafka, we can use Kinesis. So for the session, I'll just focus on Kinesis streams, Kinesis suite of family, and we'll be seeing some of the use cases related to that. Some of the typical use cases, as I said before, so we have mobile apps, clickstream data as streaming data. the application logs, the reports from metering records, the IoT sensor record, and your IoT sensors on smart buildings or the sensors in smart buildings. So this picture gives a typical AWS ecosystem for analytics workload. So this includes both the type of analytics. I just wanted to give a brief introduction of all the services available within AWS ecosystem before I deep dive into Kinesis. So any analytics process will have four stages: data ingestion, storage, analytics, and visualization. So data ingestion is a process where you get the data from different sources onto the cloud. So some of the services that we use for data ingestion is Snowball. We use Kinesis Data Firehose, AWS Direct Connect. So this is to have a direct connection between your data center and AWS. AWS Data Migration Service to connect your on-prem data to cloud. And you also have AWS Storage Gateway. So these 5 services are generally used for ingesting your on-prem data or data from other cloud or from other system into your cloud. And the next step is the storage. So the critical storage service in AWS is S3. So most of the ingested data in analytics is stored in S3. So our storage will be S3. And then the third part is your analytics. So for analytics and transformation, we have multiple services available within AWS. So Amazon Athena is your querying engine. So you can query your S3 data directly using Amazon Athena. And Amazon EMR and Glue are your transformation services. So if you want to transform your data, do ETL jobs, then you can go and use Amazon EMR and Glue. And both of them have different use cases. So you have to pick up one of these services based on your requirements. And then you have Amazon Kinesis. So I'll be talking about this today in detail. So this is used for streaming services. And then Elasticsearch service, this is more for your search capabilities. And then you have different types of databases to serve your different needs. So if for your Redshift, for your data warehouse requirements, you can go ahead and use Redshift. For NoSQL requirements, you can use DynamoDB. And Neptune is for GraphQL, graph database, and RDS for your relational database needs. And the fourth part is visualization, and visualization in AWS can be done using Amazon QuickSight. And there are other two blocks that you see here, which is the management and security. So this is very common, and this is used across different services of AWS. So you use KMS, IAM for your role management, CloudTrail for your governance, and CloudWatch for your log management. And if you want to use some of the cataloging feature for your data, then you can go ahead and use DynamoDB, Elasticsearch, and Glue. So Glue has actually two components, one for your cataloging and another one for ETL. That's why you see it in two different places. So for the session today, I am just going to deep dive on Amazon Kinesis, just this block, and we'll be using S3 and Redshift for the demo. But I'm going to talk more about Amazon Kinesis. So what is Kinesis? So Kinesis is a service used to collect, process, and analyze real-time streaming data. So you have 4 different services within Kinesis suite. So you have Kinesis Streams, Kinesis Firehose, Kinesis Analytics, and Kinesis Video Streams. So if you just go and see the Kinesis service by itself, you will have all these 4 services listed as 4 different services. So what are the benefits of using Kinesis? So they are real time, they are fully managed, and all of them are scalable. So it's very easy to use. You can just connect your source, connect your target, and you'll be able to get data if you are using Firehose. But yeah, there are different use cases for all of these 4 services. In general use cases for Kinesis, if you want to have a faster log and data processing, and if you want to do real-time data analytics or metric analysis, or if you have a very complex streaming process from IoT devices, from gaming devices, then you can go ahead and use Kinesis. And I'm going to talk in detail about the 4 services that we have under Kinesis. So Kinesis Streams. So this is the first service that is listed there in the Kinesis applications. So Kinesis Streams is for all technical developers. So if you want to write your custom application to consume data from your stream, then you should go ahead and use Kinesis Streams. So you have to write, you have to use some of the libraries, or you have to use your SDKs to consume the data from the streams, and you can process your data and store it in any format you want. You can push it to database, or you can push it to visualization tools, push it to S3. So it's more of custom application. So if you have a very niche requirements or custom requirements that you want to do a lot of processing of your data, then Kinesis Streams is an option. Also, Kinesis Streams is source for your Firehose as well as Kinesis Data Analytics. So it's if you want to have some persistence in your data, then Kinesis Streams is an option. But this is primarily for people who are interested in developing custom application and analyze the data streams within streams. This is the high level architecture of streams. So assume Kinesis streams is a big pipe. Okay, so you have a very big pipe, and shards are very small pipes inside that big pipes. Okay, so shard is a uniquely identified data record. So each shard will have a lot of records inside them, and you will process the data from the shard actually. So shard is a multiple pipes within the huge pipe. Okay, and you have to configure streams using shards. So you have to say how many shards you want for a stream. Okay, so each shard will have a write capacity of 1 MB per second or 1000 records per second. So you can write to one shard if you have a data which if your source data is 2000 records per second, then you have to provision 2 shards. If your write rate is 1000 records per second, you can just work with one shard. So based on your needs, based on your input data volume, you have to provision your shards. So it can be either 1 MB per second or 1000 records per second. So you have to calculate the numbers and based on the provision your shards. And each shard has also a read capacity of 2 MB per second or 5 transactions per second. So you have a write rate of 1 MB per second and a read rate of 2 MB per second. So what it means is, right, so you can have two consumers comfortably reading from your shard. Okay, but if you have more consumers, if you have if you have only one shard and if you have three consumers, then there will be throttling because your read rate will become 3 MB per second, which will start throttling. So based on your input, based on your input write rate, and based on your read rate, you have to configure the right number of shards. And there is already a calculator provided when you create your streams. So you can just give the numbers, and Kinesis streams will be recommending the right number of shards for you. And if you want to increase or decrease the number of shards after your provision, you have a process called resharding. So resharding can split the shard or merge the shard based on your data flow. Okay, if your data has come down, then you can reduce the shard, or if your data is growing, or if there is a burst, then you can increase the shard. And there is a default retention period of 24 hours, so you can retain the data in the shard for 1 day. And beyond that, if you want to have the data retention, it can go up to 365 days upon some charges. The another concept using Kinesis streams is partition key. So partition key, as you use in other databases, it's used to group data by shard. So in case if you have 4 different consumers and if you want to uniquely identify each consumer, each producer, then you can just provide a partition key for each producer and you'll be able to group the record accordingly within the streams. So just to summarize, so Kinesis streams has multiple shards. You have to configure the shard based on your read and write requirements. So it has the write rate of 1 MB per second and read rate of 2 MB per second, and you'll be able to split the shards or merge the shards using a process called resharding. And you have to provide partition key to group your record within the shard. Okay, so Kinesis streams, right? So how do you produce data and how can we write consumers? So you can use either API or SDK to produce records. So you can write custom code and just push data to streams. And AWS themselves have provided other two producers. One is Kinesis Producer Library, KPL. So this is a set of jars that they have already provided, which can be used. So what Kinesis Producer Library does for us, it helps us aggregate the data. As I said, right? So it has each shard has a capacity, so you can write up to 1 MB per second. But if you start pushing data in kbs, then your capacity is actually going down, right? You're not effectively utilizing the shard capacity. So this producer library will help us aggregate and bash the data so that your shards are fully utilized. And next type of producer is Kinesis agent. This is very easy to use and very good utility. So if you have requirement to read your log folders or read some other data folders continuously and push it to Kinesis streams, agent is the way to use for your Kinesis streams. So you have to install it on web servers, log servers, or database servers, and you can start pushing data to Kinesis streams. From a consumer perspective, we have something called Kinesis client library, which you can use to read from EC2 instances or EMR or Lambda. So all your consumer application for streams can use the Kinesis client library. And there is also another concept called Kinesis connector library, which can write to databases if required. So there are producers and consumers that you can use to push data to streams and read data from streams. The next service is called Firehose. So Firehose is again another very simple utility, simple service. So this is for all data. This is for all data scientists and developers. And this, right, if you use Firehose, it writes the data directly into AWS data stores. So you need not do any custom programming. So there is a defined set of data stores that your Firehose can write to. It can write to Amazon S3, Redshift, Elasticsearch, HTTP API endpoint, and some of the third-party tools like Splunk, Datadog, etc. All you have to do is do the configuration, and it will write the data directly into the data sources. So this comes very handy if you don't want to write custom programming, but there is no persistence. Okay, the difference between using Kinesis streams and Firehose is if you need persistence, then Kinesis streams is your option, and Firehose doesn't have any persistence, and there is no configuration. There is no, you need not provide the number of shards. There is no configuration. All you have to do is give the name of these four sources and the configuration for the target. So source could be your streams, or you can write directly to the Kinesis Firehose, and it automatically scales. So there is no administration involved with Firehose. So this is primarily for people who want to analyze the data without writing any custom code. Kinesis Data Analytics is the third service in Kinesis family. So this is again for all developers and data scientists. If they want to do a real-time analytics on the SQL using SQL or Java, then Kinesis Data Analytics can be used. For example, if you want to do a real-time aggregation of the data, then you can go for it. Or if you want to do some windowing operation and persist the data, then you can go for Kinesis Data Analytics. The last service is Kinesis Video Streams. So this is for processing your video streaming data, and you can use a machine learning algorithm along with your streaming data to derive some meaningful insights for video streams. All right, so we are done with all our introduction, and I'll quickly move on to the demo. So for the demo today, I'm just going to make a very simple demo talking about the streaming and Kinesis Firehose features. So what I'm going to do is, create simulate some records. I'm going to use SDK to simulate some records and push the data to Kinesis streams. And from Kinesis streams, I'll be publishing Firehose will consume the data from Kinesis streams, and there will be two routes. So we'll write to S3 directly, and we'll just see how data is stored in S3. And the second route will be we'll store the data to Redshift. So I'll be having two Kinesis Firehose and one stream, so that we can see how data is stored in S3 as well as in Redshift. I've shown a dotted line here just to indicate that if you use Amazon Redshift as your target, what Kinesis Firehose does is it writes your data to Amazon S3 and issues AWS S3 copy to write to Redshift. That's why I've given the dotted line. Maybe during the demo, I'll show that part as well. All right, so let's get started with the demo. So before I explain the other services, I'm just checking the database, and right now we have 300 records. So I am going to, as I mentioned, right, so our source data will be a custom code that I'm going to publish the data to Kinesis streams, and from your Kinesis streams, you will have two Firehose reading the data. and you'll have the data persisted into S3, and finally you'll also see the data into Redshift. So let me take the first route. For the first route, I'll be pushing the data to streams, from streams to Firehose, and Firehose to S3. So we'll just do this part, and then the second step would be to see how the data is persisted into Amazon Redshift. All right. So here what I'm doing is, right, so this is more of installing your pip3 in this is in my local. So I've created a Spark notebook, Python notebook, and I'm just pushing the data from my local to Kinesis. So what we are doing here is I've created a stream called Ticker Streams. So if you see here, you can see this. This is the name of the streams that I'm using, and the region is US West 2. And then what we are doing is we are defining a function to put a record to Kinesis stream. So this is the syntax for adding a record. So you need to have the name, you need to have a payload and a partition key. So for the demo, I'm creating a random partition key, and I'm also creating a sample data, some random data, so which will have event time, ticker, and price as the three fields. And then what I'm doing is I'm pushing some 100 records to the stream. So this is the source for my Kinesis streams. So once I start pushing my record here, the data will be going to Kinesis stream. So this is my streams. So before I open this, I just wanted to show you how to create a stream. So all you have to do is Kinesis data stream, create data streams, give a name here, test_stream. And as I said before, right, you will have the option to estimate your shards. So if you know your write capacity and if your read requirements, then you can provide those values, and Kinesis will recommend a number of shards that you may be needing. Okay, for the demo, we can just have one. So if you see here, it will mention you will be having a capacity of 1 MB per second or 1000 data records per second, and a read capacity of 2 MB per second. Okay, so all you have to do is create. So the only configuration that you'll be providing when you create a data streams is the number of shards. Okay, so what we are going to push is to the sticker streams. Okay, so once I start pushing the data, you'll be able to see the data flowing in through the streams here. Okay, so I'm just going to send some 100 records. So we have started here. So these are some of the metrics that you will be able to see on Kinesis directly. So all of these are get records. So we may be looking at the put record. So what we are doing right now is more of put record, right? So you should be seeing the incoming data once the data starts streaming into the stream. Okay, so while it comes, I'll just go through the Firehose. So the Firehose that we'll be using for the first flow, right, that to data to persist to S3 will be the sticker_Firehose. So this has S3 as your target. Okay, so this is my S3 bucket. Kinesis Analytics demo bucket, and ticker raw data is my folder, and ticker error data is my error data folder. So if you just go to your S3, this is my bucket, this is my raw data. You'll be able to see the data streaming into the folders here. So this is the hour. So if you see, this is the file that we'll be getting here. Okay, so if you want to just quickly query with S3, you can do that here. All right. So this is 1531, right? So this is the records that we have written, and you can see it in S3 here. So now if I just go and refresh the metrics, generally this metrics takes a little bit time to get updated, but I think you can see the data in S3 already. So this is the count of record that we have started, and incoming data is the data that we are pushing. So if you have, if you have more number of consumers, then you'll be seeing some throughput exceeded errors in your metrics. So the first thing after you start pushing your data is to analyze these CloudWatch metrics and see if you see some variation in the data that is being pushed. All right. So I think now we have got the data. So if you want to see some 50, yeah. So now we have got all 100 records into this folder. So if you just go and query each of this file, you'll be able to get the number of records that you have got from this. So this is the first flow where you just push the data to Kinesis streams, and from streams to Firehose and Firehose to S3. So generally we push this data to S3, and then you can run any custom transformation using EMR or Glue from S3. Or if you want to have a backup of data in S3, we can go ahead and use this flow where you just push the data to S3. The next consumer would be your Kinesis Redshift. Okay, I just wanted to show this configuration before I talk about the functionality. So I'll just create a delivery stream. So give a name for your delivery stream. This is the Firehose. And then it can accept two sources, either direct put, this is your SDK writing to Firehose, or you can have Kinesis data stream as your source. So if you use, whatever test stream we just created, you can use any of the stream as your source, or you can directly write data to your Firehose. And the next step is, if you want to do a data transformation, if you want to do transformation using Lambda, then you can enable this, and you can add a Lambda function, which will do on the file data transformation before it persists your data to S3 or your target. And then you can also do record format conversion, where you can do a Parquet or ORC, but this needs some Glue integration as well. So I'm not doing it right now, so you can do that as well here. So you can do a data transformation, you can do record format conversion here. And next is the destination. So you can choose between one of these destinations. You have S3, Redshift, Elasticsearch, HTTP endpoint, and third-party service providers, where you'll see all of those Datadog, Splunk, MongoDB, everything. Okay, so you can have all of these as your targets for your streaming data directly. And if you choose Redshift as your target, then you'll be seeing some of the Redshift configuration properties. So you have to choose a Redshift cluster, you have to provide all your credentials, and you have something called intermediate S3 destination. So for using Redshift as your destination, you have to provide S3 bucket, because internally how it works is it writes data to S3, and from there it does Redshift copy. So you have to provide a Redshift S3 destination here, and then it will execute the copy command for you from S3. And if you provide S3 as your direct destination, all you have to provide is your S3 bucket and your prefix. So I'm just giving some sample bucket. And the next thing is your buffer condition. So this is very important to have better performance, or a quicker data into your output target. So your buffer size can be between 1 MB to 128 MB. So you have to give this number so that the data is buffered in Firehose before it is returned to the target. And the same as buffer interval. So it should be either 1 MB. Minimum size is either 1 MB or 60 seconds. So Firehose will buffer the record until it becomes 1 MB, or it is 60 seconds. So the minimum time, right? If you have very less data, then the data will be written every 60 seconds. But if you have a larger data, more than 1 MB, then it will be written once 1 MB size is reached. Okay, so you have to configure this accordingly based on your needs. So just predefine this number, and then you can configure this, and then you can have your compression, error logging, and IAM. So Streams has very limited configuration. All you have to provide is shards. But when it comes to Firehose, you have to configure a data source, your encryption, your compression, your buffering intervals, all of these, and then the data is written directly to your target, seamlessly, so you can see the data immediately on your target. So for this demo, I have created a Redshift. So I just wanted to show the configuration. So this is my intermediate S3 bucket, and Redshift data is my intermediate data record. So if you just go and see here, this is my Redshift data. and you'll be seeing the files written to this folder as well. Okay, this is the same set of data that you'll be seeing in the other S3 bucket where you have direct write to S3, and the same record will be here. And then what Kinesis does is it copies the data to your Redshift. Okay, so this is the command it executes. Okay, copy ticker data from this bucket to your database. Okay, and since this is JSON data, I did some configurations, but this is generally if you have just a CSV data, it just creates your copy command. And if you just monitor, if you want to see if there are issues with your Amazon Redshift connection, all of those, you can just go and check this Amazon Redshift logs. And you can also see the monitoring tab. So here you will be able to see how much of record is written to Redshift, how much of record is written to S3, and is that success or failure. So you'll be able to see all of those metrics here. So here, if you see, right, so we have delivered the record to S3. We have delivered the record to Redshift as well. So you see the dots popping up here, right? So all of these states that your data is delivered to Redshift. Okay, the last part is the Redshift. So here, if you see, these are my live queries. So this is my Redshift database. And yeah, so whatever I've executed, if you see, there is a copy command executed. So copy ticker, so it is copied. This is the query, the same query that we see on the Kinesis Firehose. Okay, so if you see now, I think the data is all copied to Redshift, and you should now see 400 records here. Maybe I'll push some more records while we wait. Yeah, if you see now, it is 400. So it was earlier 300. Now we have pushed 100 records, and 100 records is written into the database, and you will be able to see the data as well here. Right. So let me just summarize the demo again. So what we did was, we simulated the records using a Python notebook, and which was pushing the data to Kinesis streams, which is ticker streams in our demo. And from ticker streams, we had two consumers, one for pushing the data to S3 directly, another one for pushing it to Redshift. And we saw the data in S3, and we also saw the data in Redshift. So while pushing the data to Redshift, it writes the data to S3 in an intermediate bucket and copies it back to Redshift. So this is how your Kinesis streams and Firehose works. And hope you all had some basic understanding of Kinesis streams and Firehose, and hope you'll be able to use the services in your projects and requirements. Feel free to reach out to us, the community, AWS user group, or personally myself if there are questions or if you want any help. Thank you.